Jeff, what's our second segment?
Well, I mean, it's got a little different. It's got a little different title than I probably would have put on it.
Okay.
Because you chose this as the hose versus home. Oh, I'm sorry, HOAs versus
that's not what
home
it
improvement. I've just read all of that together. So, to me, it probably could have a little bit different segment title, like can my HOA really do that?
There's truth in that. I get that. That does have a little more zest to it.
I mean, the HOA, my HOA won't let me rip out my grass and put artificial turf in, and they tell me my solar panels have to face the street, and I can't put an EV charger in, and blah blah. And there's a lot of that's not true. HOAs have a tendency sometimes to overstep their bounds.
And I think what we want to do in this case is to kind of help demystify that and kind of put into place what are some of the things that you can do to be successful in making sure that what you want to do to your house you can actually get done. But I think that one of the things we should point out is that all the information about an HOA before you sign the contract, before you close on the house, in the contract you're going to have time to get the documents and be able to review those. So if there's something that you plan on doing, like if you need to have a rabbit farm, or you like to change your friend's oil in your front yard, maybe these are some things you need to think about and share with us so that we can help and make sure everything works out best.
Yeah, because usually when you buy a home within an HOA, you usually get all of the documents, all of the rules, regulations, articles of incorporation, all of that within the first 7 to 10 days. And then you've got 6 days to review all of that. It's a lot to review, but it is worth reviewing. You really need to do, because if it's not in there, if it's not written in there, then it's almost unenforceable.
And I think that here's a really good thing. When we had some clients and they were asking us about doors and windows.
Yeah.
And that the seller had come back and said that they would pay for the windows on this high rise. Well, then we discovered through the resale certificate and the documents that came along with it that those are part of the HOA's responsibility. So it was really a moot point that the seller was trying to get over on us, and we were like, hey, so in lieu of that, there's a dollar value, and we'd like that dollar value because it is part of the HOA. So again, to your point, it is critical to read those documents.
Yeah. And if you do get in a disagreement, HOAs do have the right to ultimately foreclose on your property. It's a long process for them to be able to do that because of some of the ways that the laws around HOA and consumer protection have been changed over the last 10 years.
So there's a document that you're probably going to have to, anything that you want to do to your house, it's an ACC, and it stands for Architectural Control Committee. And this is a document that you provide, and what we'll do is kind of highlight what things should be in those as you proceed. This is during the research, we kind of found some really good tips that make this make sense and really allows you to be successful, hopefully on your first round.
So one of the things that people there are a lot of people are doing right now is they're getting solar panels. And HOAs generally cannot decline solar panels. They do have the ability to limit the location on the property, the view that you would have from the street. They've got some protection things built in, but they're not able to just outright prohibit them.
And so in your ACC, when you make your request, one of the things that they have talked about is actually providing documentation from the installer or the manufacturer that says why they need to be there why they need to be on a certain slope of the roof in order to maximize their usefulness. There's also some debate on whether you should or shouldn't provide what savings you'll get based on the current kilowatt hour. But these are all things that you do in order to, it's a drop in the bucket. Everything's a drop in the bucket that allows you to get the yes that you're looking for.
Right. The other thing that a lot of people are doing now, and we see it in new construction, is they are moving from using St. Augustine or any kind of live grass, and they're moving more toward turf grasses or artificial turf grasses. And an HOA does have a say in whether you can do that or not. And so that if that is something you want to do, be sure to review the HOA docs, find out what their restrictions on it are. But many times, even if they agree if they allow you to do it, you still need to go through the process you just talked about, where when you submit those plans for approval, you need to have everything talking about what the installation is going to be like, but most importantly, talk about the water savings that you're going to have.
So there's easy things that you can do is based on the survey that you would have from your closing, is be able to mock that up with where it would actually be, and actually to provide both a list of the types of plants that you use, and then also like, is there a season that they bloom? Is it full year? Because what you're trying to do is show that you're bettering the neighborhood.
Right. Yeah.
But you're not
You're exactly right.
With conformity.
Yes.
You're bettering it, but with conformity. And so by showing that these are, I call them pride. Like I have pride in the house. Like I think when you and I show people and we see really clean homes and clean yards, we call it like a neighborhood pride. And so it kind of tells you that this is an ascending neighborhood.
Yep.
This is what we're trying to get over to the ACC.
So some points that we wanted to bring up about winning the ACC process. Number one is the de-escalation of that, because the personalities within an architectural control committee can be so varied. They can be, the extreme control person to the person that doesn't like this job anymore and is just stuck there for the next 2 or 3 months. And so providing what you're wanting to do in writing with all of your plans submitted, any kind of local ordinances that you're also having to comply with, show the compliance or the approval that you're going through that process, and do it from a professional perspective up front. You have your best chance to get it approved.
100%. And if it doesn't approve, then ask for it in writing why it was declined. And then from there, work forward when you make your next application. But these are the ways that you can really try to get that. I don't know, I think it really is a case by case, both with the HOA and the project that you're asking for. I know that like, if it's something that's above a fence and they can see it, that can get really, that sometimes can be dicey,
And I think the best thing is the last step, and what you will want to do is request a conformity letter after the project is done and everything is done to their satisfaction, so that you have in writing from the HOA, it's all done properly and it's met our guidelines.
And HOAs are they're a double-edged sword, because there was a neighborhood that I lived in one time where the guy decided he wanted to paint his roof blue because he was from Greece. And there's no HOA, so guess who got to paint the roof blue? Yeah. That was weird. Yeah. And then people complain like, I can't believe the HOA put a letter on my door saying that I need to take this wreath off my door because the season's over. I mean, what do you want? Yeah. And the other thing too that you say all the time, it's not a surprise. You knew you were moving into an HOA. That is true. You knew. True.
So we hope you found this helpful. If there are any questions about HOAs you have, please reach out to us, either put it in the comments or give us a call. We'd be happy to talk about it.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.